hosted by Matt Riches. Watch the market unfold. Turning data to gold. Watch the market unfold. Turning data to gold. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you're tuning in from around the globe. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Welcome to the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast. I'm your host, Matt Riches. It is Friday, July 17th, 2026. Happy Friday. The market is back in fear, y'all. The fear and greed is at 43. The VIX gapped up overnight, is now trading around 18.6. Tech and the semiconductor stocks are under heavy pressure. Netflix got clapped. The Asian market sold off hard overnight. We got data coming out at 7 a.m. We'll get into that. So today's question is simple. Can buyers defend support into the weekend, or does the global tech sell-off continue dragging the market lower? I track the headlines, the data, and the market levels so you don't have to. This show is for education and entertainment purposes only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Before we get into the markets, let's get into the mantra with our mindset. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I'm the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, let's check out some of this data before we get on the charts. So at 7 a.m., we have preliminary UoM consumer sentiment and inflation expectations. Both are orange folders. Consumer sentiment tells how confident consumers feel about the economy. Inflation expectations tells what consumers believe inflation will look like going forward. That matters because inflation expectations can influence spending, wages, and the way the Fed thinks about future policy. Let's see, what else we got? Google Finance is reporting significant selling pressure driven by global route and technology stocks and renewed Middle East tensions. The chip sell-off deepened overnight. Asian markets were hit hard. The Nikkei dropped more than 5%. Taiwan's market fell sharply as semiconductor pressure spread globally. The AP reported that TSM fell more than 6% after announcing plans for an additional $100 billion in U.S. chip manufacturing investment. That is important because investors are questioning whether the AI infrastructure build-out can justify current valuations. The issue is not whether AI matters. The issue is whether the cost, spending, and valuations expectations have moved too far too fast. Netflix is also a major story this morning. Netflix shares are down sharply after the company gave weaker than expected third quarter guidance and announced it will reduce how often it releases viewing data. The company did grow revenue and profit, but Wall Street did not like the forecast. That adds pressure to the broader growth stock and tech sentiment. Oil is also back in focus. Middle East tensions are keeping energy prices elevated, and any continued pressure around the Strait of Hormuz can bring inflation fears back into the market. The 10-year Treasury yield is gapped down overnight and is now around 4.54%. Gold is less than $4,000 an ounce. Bitcoin is around $63,000, and Ethereum is around $1,800. All right, let's get into Robert Greene's daily law before we get on the charts. Title, Create Temptation. Daily law, find their weakness, the fantasy that has not been realized, and hint that you could lead them toward it. Today's law is about understanding what people secretly want. Robert Greene is saying that temptation works when it's personal. It connects a hidden desire, a weakness, a fantasy, or something unresolved. The strongest temptation is not random, it is targeted. For long-term investors, the market is full of temptation. AI riches, breakout stocks, new highs, hot IPOs, FOMO. Those temptations can be powerful. But the disciplined investor has to separate opportunity from emotion. A strong theme can be real, but if valuation gets stretched, temptation can run into risk. That is exactly what the market is wrestling with AI and semiconductors right now. For day traders, temptation shows up as chasing. A big red candle tempts you to short late. A big green candle tempts you to buy late. A hot ticker tempts you to ignore your plan. Today, the VIX is up, tech is selling off, and the UoM data is still ahead. The temptation will be to react emotionally. Do not do that. Let price come to your levels. Let the setup prove itself. Temptation is everywhere. Discipline is the edge. Another thing when it comes to day trading, another temptation is to take another trade when you don't have to. If your first trade of the day was a great trade, you actually don't need to make a second trade. If you really have to make a second trade, make it from a different account. And that's something that I learned this week, because I actually took two great trades, my first trades, and then the second trades I actually lost. So had I just not taken that second trade or taken it from a smaller account, then the outcome would have been a lot better. That's some of the lessons that we learned here as day traders. Stay patient, stay disciplined, execution over emotion, process over prediction. Now let's get on these charts and get to these levels, y'all. Let's start with Nvidia. Current price, $201.87. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at $200.13, $198.95, $196.05. Then we have our diagonal trend line here. Underneath that, we got $191.15. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at $202.92. Above that, we got $205.25, $205.85. And then we have the bottom of our Smart Money Concepts resistance zone, which starts at $207.71. Inside that zone, we do have a level here at $211.08, $212.55, and the top of the zone is $214. Next, we got Apple currently in the pre-market. The only one of the... Anyway, Apple hit an all-time high yesterday, y'all. Apple currently in the pre-market at $333.46. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at $332.13, $329.34, $326.79, $325.70. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of $336.70. Then I got a few levels in price discovery land: $338.50, $340.30, and $346.45. Next up, we got Google currently in the pre-market. It's pushing pre-market lows on this candle. Actually, right at this moment, it's pushing pre-market lows. So the pre-market low and the current price is $344.50. To the downside support, we got $340.70, $330.20. Wow, I don't have any level. Okay, so just one level for Google today. But if it does sell off crazy, I do got a level down here, but I don't have any levels in there, so be aware. I got 330 as the if it just sell off all day. To the upside, pre-market high, $351.68. Above that, $352.30, $353.85, $357.15, $359.65, $362.90. Google had a terrible day yesterday. It was down 4.4%. Next, we got Microsoft currently in the pre-market at $392.68. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low at $390, followed by $388.20, $385, and then $378.95. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at $396.76, $399, $401.75, $405.05, and $406. To break that, we can go to $412. Next up, we got Amazon currently in the pre-market at $244.50. To the downside support, we got $243.54. which is a pre-market low, followed by 240.90, 238.25, 233.90. To the upside resistance, we got 247.22, 248, 248.50, 251, 253.70, 256.76, and 258. Next, we got TSM. Currently in the pre-market at 393.53. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 388, followed by 385.10. If we break that, we coming all the way down to our smart money concept support zone at 370. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 399.73, followed by 403.50, 405.50, 410.75, 415.95, 421.20. Next, we got SpaceX. SpaceX is terrible. Currently in the pre-market at 125.61. Everybody that bought SpaceX after the IPO is in the red right now. So let's be clear. To the downside, I got the pre-market low of 124.38. To the upside, I got the pre-market high 127.95, 130.74, 134.41, 137.76. No, I'm not gonna give another. I'm not gonna give a short level for SpaceX. You shouldn't be buying it. Maybe you want to short it. If you want to short it, put it in the chats or send it to my DM, and I'll start giving short levels for SpaceX next week. Next up, we got AVGO. Currently in the pre-market at 364.65. To the downside, we got the pre-market low at 363, 362, which was last week's low, 356.45, 353.60, 351.50, 51.50. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high at 369.10, 371.90, 379.60, 382, 386.74. Next, we got Meta Platforms, currently in the pre-market at 646.30. Is actually in the gap right now. Okay. To the downside, we got the pre-market low at 344.71. Underneath that, we got 343, which is a weekly level, and then we got the midpoint of this gap is 641.16. The bottom of this gap is 633.35. To the upside resistance, we got 656. 660.16, 666.50, 674.70, 677.86. Next, we got Tesla, currently in the pre-market. It's pushing pre-market lows at this moment. So pre-market lows and the current price is 382.20. To the downside support, we got 381.95, 379.30. The midway point of the smart money concept support zone that it's currently in is 378. And then at the bottom of the zone, we got 368.60. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high 385.80, 386.85, 392.76, 395.31, 399.35. Next, we got Eli Lilly currently in the pre-market at 1167. To the downside, we got the pre-market low 1165, 1163, 1152, 1141. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 1183, 1189, 1200, 1230. Next, we got Berkshire B currently in the pre-market at 496.50. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low of 493.12, followed by 490.70, 488, 486.17. The upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 497, followed by 502.25. Next, we got SPY currently in the pre-market at 742.47. To the downside support, we got the pre-market low 742.58, followed by 740.60, 739.50. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high 745.82, 746.15, 747.88, 751, 752.80. Next, we got QQQ currently in the pre-market at 692 to the downside support. We got the pre-market low at 690.28. Underneath that, we got 686.40, which was June's low. And then that is also the top of the gap. The midway point of the gap is 684.64. The bottom of the gap is 682.78. Then we got another gap down here at 677.49. The upside resistance, we got the pre-market high is 696.80, 697.45, $700.90, 702.61, 705.25, 707.55, 710.25. Next up, we got IWM. Currently in the pre-market. It's pushing pre-market lows right now. So the pre-market low and the current price is 292.34. To the downside support, we got 291.85, 290.70, and then we got the top of our smart money concept resistance zone here at, support zone at 289. To the upside resistance, we got the pre-market high of 294.24, followed by 294.35, 294.95, 295.80, 296.60.
Chase excellence, never chase money. Why? Because money has an incredible way of finding excellence. Did you chase excellence and not money? Do you have the intellectual curiosity to learn everything you can about this incredible industry and master it? Become the smartest person in the room. Have you mastered it?
Shout out to everybody on YouTube Live. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Let's get some money out this market.